I'm Roger Lewis. I had a cab badge for 39 years. I'm since retired. I was very instrumental at one stage with the L.T.D.A. back in the 70s and 80s. I founded the Licensed Cab Drivers L.T.D.A. Credit Union and introduced the SIX scheme, a gymnasium, the lottery which still runs. I love the London cab trade, and it's been my life. It's done me good, did my family well, and I'm proud to say that I had a badge for that amount of time.
So a little birdie tells me you've become an author recently.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Tell me about tell me what the book's called and how did that all come about then?
Well, I got 10 grandkids. I wrote this book because I wanted them to know about my dad, who was profoundly deaf, and my mum, profoundly deaf. And my dad was a hero in the deaf community. In the 1935 Olympic Games, he won a gold, a silver and a bronze. My grandkids will now know about their great-grandfather and their great-great-grandfather, who came to this country in about, I think, 1910, and they dropped him in the docks in London and told him he was in New York.
Really?
And
no way.
They told him he was in New York, and all his siblings were already in New York. So it was quite a story. He slept under the barrows in Petticoat Lane, and he made something of himself.
The stories of your childhood from Deptford were fascinating. Can you tell us?
I love South East London. My mum came from Oxton, just the other side of Tower Bridge, and the old man came from Bermondsey. And I was brought up both sides of the water because I was taken over the East End to meet my mum's family. But South East London, I'm a Millwall supporter through and through. I love South London. I went to school in Deptford. I went to a grammar school in Deptford, and the characters that were in that school and outside, it was just phenomenal. There was a picture palace at the top of Deptford High Street, and we used to call it the Bug Hutch. And it was a bug hutch, you know, literally, where if you went to Lewisham and Catford, you had a place called the Eros, and the carpets were beautiful and it smelt lovely as you walked in. But the Bug Hutch was the Bug Hutch. And what made it even more entertaining was you'd be sitting there for a tanner, the old sixpence, and the exit door would burst open, and in would come the biggest teddy boy. I was about 7 years of age. The biggest teddy boy you've ever seen. Maybe I was 10. And he had the Tony Curtis and the Drake, and he broke a seat up.
Really?
He lived in the side street. He broke a seat up and took it home for his mum's fire, right? And no one, everybody stayed stum. No one said a word, right?
Was he quite hard now?
Oh, he was Chopper Green, his name was.
Oh, really?
Because I think he carried a chopper.
Really?
Right? He was a top teddy boy in Deptford. My tailor, he started off, he went on to make suits. He was in Deptford High Street in a prefab, and at the time it was a pony, 25 quid for a suit made, 25 quid for an overcoat made. And he went on to become the tailor for Michael Caine, Sean Connery. He became and Bruce Forsyth, right?
Hey, old Brucey as well.
Yeah, Brucey, but not in Deptford.
Yeah.
He went to Mount Street in the West End.
So
Deptford was a wonderful place.
All those tailors that were in the East End in Deptford, did they would make a suit for you for one price and then set it up in Mayfair and places like that for?
I'll give you a story. Burberry's.
Yeah.
Right? I used to love a raglan shouldered, fly fronted cashmere overcoat. And a pal of mine told me about the Burberry warehouse, which was in Prescott Street, Lehman Street, round the Whitechapel, and I went there, and the little woman that served you was absolutely brilliant. She was a little Yiddish woman, and she had the glasses that went up like Catwoman, and she spoke a proper East End lady, right? And when she fitted you, you paid a pony, you paid 25 quid, but when you went to Burberry's and looked in the window, it was a one-up.
No way.
Right? Now, I don't know, I mean, she was a lot older than me, she's probably gone now, but I would think it was a scam that her and the pal in the in the factory was working, right? But they used to make it at a cheaper price.
Yeah.
But what we loved about the old girl was she was a grandmother. She must have had 3 or 4 grandkids, and she used to say to all the young fellas like me, "Are you still single? I'm available if you want to know." And I'd say, "You're a little minx, you meet me at Waterloo." You never turned up, but she never turned up. But she was lovely. And she used to say, "I wish you well to vary." You know what I mean? She was a lovely, lovely woman. Lovely woman. But these are the memories that, you know, you think you sort of write them down because, you know, they're gone now, all these people. They're gone.
So can I ask, actually, just on Deptford, I started. My missus bought me a book of cabbie slang when I passed the knowledge, and I read it in there that the cabbie slang for Deptford was shithole of the world. Now, is that true? Is that true?
Not if you come from South London.
No.
See, I don't know whether you young fellas today use the same nonsense as all the old fellas used to.
Probably not.
We used to say, "No, sorry, Gov, we don't go that far on our holidays." Right? Deptford was like, no.
Yeah.
And no, we don't go south of the river, Governor. But I did.
Yeah.
That was it's only the South London boys that knew the bad areas that wasn't worried about going there.
Yeah.
You know, we knew what was good and what was bad, you know, and we didn't care. And you always got a job home.
Yeah.
Right? Because I lived out in Shortlands in Bromley, Kent, right?
Yeah.
And I'd come round the Aldwych at the latter part, and you could only go over the bridge if you was that. And I'd put my light on quick, and they go, oh yeah, all right, yeah. And everything went South London. It was lovely for the South London boys. Back in the maybe 80s, I think it was, I was responsible for negotiating with the carriage office with Harry Fagan, he was General Secretary, that we could wear tailored shorts. All the young bucks, they're all happy, they've all got the trainers and they've all got the nice shorts on and they're all looking the part, which is lovely, like they're going on the golf course. Yeah. Anyway, we get a phone call one morning from the public carriage office, and the guy's raving. He said, "We're going to break this agreement." I said, "Well, what is it about?" He said, "Well, one of your men was at Waterloo Station, and I know the man, and I really don't want to mention his name, he's probably still alive. He went to pick an old dowager up with the suitcases, right? She'd come home from Southampton or something, and he had a pair of boxer shorts on, like I wear under my strides. And a certain part of his appendage fell out, right? And she screamed and called a copper, right? So it looked like we were going to lose it all again, but we made. And I spoke to the little fella, and the little fella was apologetic. He said, "I didn't know." He said, "I didn't know. I thought I could wear boxer shorts." I was a dreamer. I never got the dream. I wanted every London cab driver, licensed cab driver, to belong to the L.T.D.A. I wanted to give them holiday pay. I gave them sick pay, but they had to volunteer to join.
Yeah.
Sick pay, and I wanted to have a pension. All the profits that the L.T.D.A. made, I wanted to give back to the drivers.
One thing that struck a chord with me when I read the book actually was the section that you wrote about people being disrespectful to cab drivers. You had a name for them, for the sort of...
Mark 1 No Spares.
That's the one.
I gave that name. No one else can claim that copyright other than me.
Where did that come from?
My brain. Mark 1 No Spares. The Mark 1 No Spares, it used to be years ago, there used to be the bowler hats and the umbrella, right? Yeah. But the younger fellas today are like the yuppies in the city, but they're all public. They still got the watch chain hanging from the buttonhole into the thing, right? And they look down on the cab trade. And the story in there is the loveliest story in the book about the cab drivers have got bigger brains than anyone else. You remember that one?
Yeah.
And my pal, he died. I came down for the funeral. A lovely man, Big Barry Adnall. His brother and his dad were all cab drivers. And the article was in the Standard, and it said London cab drivers have got bigger brains than anyone else because the amount of knowledge that they must retain. It's fair comment.
Yeah, it's true.
So everybody was taking the pee in the back, but this guy gets in and he says to Big Barry, "Hey, you chaps have got bigger brains than anyone else." He said, "How are you driving a cab?" You know, straight away he's on him, yeah? So the big fella, he looks at him and he says, "Yeah, all right, mate." So they're going along, he's taking him into the city from Sloane Square, typical punter, you know. So he said to him, he kept on, and Big Barry went, "You want to play a game, pal? I'll play a game with you. Come on in." So he said, "Who said we'll fight him on the beaches?" So he leans forward, Mark 1, no spares, and he goes, "Oh, easy peasy, Winston." So he says, "Okay." He says, "Who said I shall return?" He said, "Yes, General MacArthur, Philippines, yes." And now he thinks he ain't going to catch him out, so he went to him, "Who said there's no profit in defeat?" And the fella said, "Who said there's no profit? I don't know that one." And Big Barry went, "A Jamaican chiropodist," and shut the window. No, needless to say, he got what we called back then a George Seagull, illegal. Do you still call it illegal today?
What? I don't even know what that means.
Illegal is exactly the fare.
Right, yeah,
no tip.
Yeah. Roger, can I just say, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you. Thank you very much for taking part in the Gentleman Cabbie, and I urge everyone to go and buy your books. It's a brilliant read. Can you just actually let everyone know where you can get it? Because otherwise...
You can get it. You can get it on my website, which is www.Roger with no D, I Lewis.
Yeah.
Right, because there's lots of Roger. RogerILewis.co.uk. But you can also get it if you're a client of Martin Cordell's in Mile End.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Listen, it's been lovely.
It has been a pleasure, Roger. Thanks so much. Thanks for watching the Gentleman Cabbie. Click the videos to see more great interviews, and don't forget to subscribe.